What is up, YouTube? We're back again with another video. Today, we are comparing Noelle versus Arataki Itto, and I have all of my spreadsheets all ready and good to go here to do that comparison. I don't even know the answer to that. I am just going to be doing the comparisons right here, right now, and we're going to find out together. I am also going to be comparing a C6 Noelle, who is crowned, right? Because this is not about being fair between Noelle and Itto. This is about comparing against things that are possible and what people have already. So there's probably a whole lot of people out there that have their Noelles C6 and crowned. So I bet they're wondering if this is going to be better than an Itto that is, you know, semi-invested into, because right, he's going to be coming out really early. Not really early. Like his materials, you're not going to be able to pre-farm them, right? So you kind of have to wait a couple of days to get all of his materials, or spend a bunch of fragile resin if you have it, or transient resin if you have it, if you want to get Itto up to snuff. And then you also have to farm the new dungeon as well to get actual decent artifacts. So it's gonna take some time to build this character, versus people with Noelle. You know, they've already leveled her up, and she's already ready and all good to go. She's just raring to go. So I will be comparing today an ascended Itto with level 8 talents and a ascended Noelle with crowned talents. Okay, I already know what you're saying. That's not a fair comparison, but like I said earlier, this is not about fairness. This is about what people have already. And you know, what we glean from today's comparisons, you know, you should be able to make some estimations, you know, if you level up Itto's talents. Like if it's really close, then okay, Itto, once you level him up, crown his talents, then yeah, he's gonna be way better than Noelle. But if there's a huge gap, then maybe that's pretty telling on how Itto is. Actually, I take that back. I am not going to compare an ascended Itto. I'm going to compare a level 80 out of 80 Itto, because I already did the math for that. I take that back. Okay, let's get into it, right? Let's freaking do this. So she's got 4-piece defense set, defense, geo damage, crit rate. So C6 Noelle, she is running a crit rate circlet. She definitely needs the crit rate circlet, like 100%, because she has no natural crit rate. She's running Stone Thresher, which gives her a bunch of crit damage, so we're at 177.2. Let's see, we have Defense Sands. We're running the 2-piece defense set. Let me just make sure that that's good. Yep, so we're getting the geo damage bonus and the extra defense bonus. Make sure that that's good. Yep, 50%-ish. Yep, we got the geo damage bonus, and yep, we got the crit rate. We're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. Let's look at the crit damage. Yep, so we got 5 rolls of crit. And then we got 5 rolls of crit damage. So everything's looking pretty good. So we're first going to start with solo Noelle. But, you know, we have Geo Resonance applied. So no buffs from other characters, okay? And then we'll do Noelle, Goro, Flex Geo. And then we'll do Noelle, Zhongli, Flex Geo, Noelle, Zhongli, Goro. How's that? Oh, I gotta level her. I gotta make her ascended. Shoot. Skill damage, and then the breastplate explosion. You can't ignore the breastplate explosion. That thing is powerful. 400% scaling on that. It's pretty dang strong. It's pretty dang strong. Don't ignore that. Alright, solo Noelle damage. Let's take a look. What's happening here? Pretty sure we checked over all of our work. We look good. She jumps up to 3,917. Holy moly. That's a lot of attack power. So, crits for hitting for 63,531. That's a lot of damage. That's actually a lot of damage. What's the sum? This is not a practical rotation, right? So when Noelle has her burst up, she can definitely do multiple combos at once. So this is just one set of normal attack combos, and some people don't even use their charged attacks. They just spam normal attacks, right? So I should figure out a way to change this to a practical rotation. So actually what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do it again, but with like a practical rotation without charged attacks. So how many combos does Noelle get with run rotation of her skill? Let me just look again at her duration. That's right, it's 15 seconds plus C6. which is what, another 10? So 25 seconds. But do we want to compare Noelle with the same time frame, right? Because Itto is 11 seconds. So do we want to compare Noelle during that same 11 seconds? Or do we want to compare Noelle during her entire burst duration, right? Because that's a very stark difference. And also for Noelle, it's going to depend on the matchup, right? If it's multiple enemies, this skill is more potent. If you're fighting a boss, then this skill is not as potent because you don't get the extra duration. So Noelle is a lot more matchup dependent than Itto in that sense, right? So I feel like we should kind of take a look at both 15 seconds versus the 25 seconds. So let's actually right now, let's go and figure out how many normal attacks Noelle can do during her 10-second duration, right? Because there's definitely like a lot of variables for Noelle's rotation. We're just gonna do a very basic one. All right, well, we ran out there. I was not paying attention, so we kind of need to go and clip. I need to like clip that or something. If someone could actually clip that real quickly, that'll be very helpful. Then we can watch that back and count, unless someone else was counting, because I was not counting. Okay, so we got the burst and the skill damage. Yep. So that's one. That's one combo. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like 5, right? It's about 5. It's around 5-ish. So we're just gonna call it 5, okay? I'm gonna call it 5 just for simplicity. We're just gonna call it 5. If you do the full combo though, right? Because I did 3. I did 3 and then I threw in an E skill in there. But just for simplicity's sake, right? Since in my math, this is her full 4-hit normal attack combo, I'm just gonna call it 5 full combos. So if I do that math there, we can do times 5. And then we have our breastplate explosion. Oh my gosh, dude. Look at Noelle's damage. 415,937. That's more than Itto. So low Itto. We only hit 320. But you know, Noelle does last 4 seconds longer than Itto. But if this is true, interesting. This is very interesting. Very interesting results. But okay, we're gonna move on. I think that's actually kind of surprising to me. Let's get Goro buffs up in here. So once we have Goro buff, I'm also now going to include the Geo Shred. So when you have Geo Shred, their defenses becomes 1.05 with 20% Geo Resonance. Geo Shred. How's our damage looking like now? Maybe, what if 5 is a little bit too much? What if we called it 4? Would that be a little bit more fair? Even if we called it 4, what happens? Like, even if I called it 4, what's the change? Oh, wait. Oh, I messed this up. I included too much damage. Okay. I chose the wrong one. We're good. It's 385,000 damage. Itto is 320. Okay, Noelle's still a little bit stronger. Let me see what happens when we do 4 combos. 321. Okay, maybe this is a little bit more accurate, maybe? Maybe let's take a look at both sets when we do 4 combos versus 5 combos. We're gonna do both because I find this to be very interesting that Noelle, at least right during her burst rotation, does more damage. Okay, now let's get Goro up in here. Where was I at? So Goro support, and we got the Geo Shred. How much damage are we dealing now? 94,000 damage. 94, 97. All right, back to this. How much does breastplate do? It can do 55k? Oh my god, 55, 584? That's ridiculous. It almost seems like something is wrong, right? Well, I guess my Noelle's not crowned on her normal attack talent yet, right? So I think she's only at level 8. So that kind of makes sense. While we're not seeing that crazy of a number. So I think I'm okay. I think we're okay. We should be fine. Also, we're running 4-piece defense set in this, so we have a whole bunch of extra defense and geo damage bonus, which I'm not. I'm only running a 4-piece bolide, and it's not even properly leveled up yet, I think. Yeah, see. Yeah, so we're not even like fully up there. And look at our crit damage, it's pretty dang low. And we're using an R1 white blind, right? So this is a bunch of damage we don't have. And also this is not level 13 yet. Also don't have white blind buff from the start. You are totally right. Yep. Guess that factors into the low burst damage 100%. Yep, you're totally right. That's why we're seeing such that's why the numbers aren't as reflective for sure. I agree. All right, let's go ahead and add Zhongli, and then that will give us an extra 20% res. So now we're dealing 103, 498. Bam. Okay, so with four normal attacks, and during 15 second duration, they're kind of the same, right? Look at how similar they are. Like pretty much almost the same. Like literally almost the same. Goro looking kinda. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Goro increases your damage by a lot, right? It's pretty good. Goro's good. But anyway, right, if I compare the sum of Itto's damage output, look at how almost exactly the same they are. Kind of crazy, right? This is with 4 normal attacks, right? In a combo. For Noelle. 4 full normal attack combos in a single combo. So there's definitely a little bit of variation. If you fit in one more normal attack combo during her burst duration, right? Because when I counted, I kind of finagled the combo a little bit. I was doing like 3 hits and then a dash, and then I was canceling with my E skill as well, so I wasn't doing the full 4 hit normal combo. So if we consider 5 full normal attack combos during her 15-second duration, it's better. It's a little bit stronger. So in terms of just like her individual duration, because she has a slightly higher duration, she does deal more damage in that sense. But right, in terms of DPS, right, it seems like Itto does more DPS, but DPS is also completely dependent on how often you cast your burst. So there's like a lot of factors that kind of go into that kind of thinking. Itto does his damage quicker, right? Because it's only 11 seconds versus her 15. And she can extend it to 25 as well. So yeah, depending on the character matchup, the enemy matchup, they each kind of have their pros and cons, I guess. Damn. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. So think about this, right? This required that Noelle be crowned C6 as well, versus Itto, who is only level 80. So if you level up Itto, if you crown your Itto, he's gonna be doing a lot more damage. So right, remember the parameters that we decided to compare. This is Noelle with a crowned normal attack, a crowned elemental burst as well. And she's also level 80 out of 90. Versus our Itto was only level 80 with talent level 8 talents. Or talent level 8 talents? Talents that are level 8. Right? Keep that in mind as well. So, Itto has room to grow. This is kind of the extent of Noelle. So, I think that's pretty telling. Like, you know, between Noelle and Itto, Noelle doesn't really have much more room to grow here except improving your artifacts. Whereas Itto, you can still level up his talents to talent level 10. You still have 2 more levels of talents to get to. But of course, this was with 4 normal attacks. If we did 5 normal attacks, then yeah, Noelle's damage increases. 5 combo Noelle versus talent 10 Itto next. That's a lot of work. Let me see. If we do talent level 10 Itto, do I even have his information? I do have this. I do have this. Alright. You know what? We could do it. We could. If 2 people are keen to see it, then I'm sure many other people will also like to see it. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do the calcs. Let's go ahead and do the calcs. But anyway, yeah, take a look at this. Let's calculate the percent difference here real quick. So this is normal attacks 5, burst damage, burst skill damage, and 1 instance of the breastplate explosion. So alright, let's look at Goro and Zhongli. What's the damage difference here? 520, 537. What do we get here? Oh, 18. Dude, it's percent difference is pretty much exactly the same. Literally almost exactly the same. 18.6. And that's to be expected. So 20% increase, right? Versus the 18 relative. Okay, let's take a look. Where are we at, y'all? Where are we at? What did I say I was gonna do? Itto talent level 10. Okay. Itto talent level 10. Dude, going to talent level 10 is kind of a fat increase. Not gonna lie. This is kind of absurd. Kind of bonkers. 68, 62. Is Noelle getting annoying? Is her idle chatter getting annoying? I can turn her off. Alright, we're gonna turn off the Goro support, but now the enemy res is now 40%, so it's 1.15. Turn off the Goro support. Or is she like encouraging us? Because her idle chatter is supposed to be encouraging. It's supposed to be like encouragement or something, from what I remember. 218.90. Noelle is never annoying. Okay. I'm glad that you find that you feel that way, so I don't need to quiet her down. 406.96. All right, here we go, guys. Wait, look at how close it is. Wait, we can already see how close it is. They're almost exactly the same. Look at it. Look at it. It's almost exactly the same. Itto is slightly higher with talent level 10 versus a 5 combo Noelle. What do you guys think about that? Look how close they are. Look at how freaking close they are. Uh-oh, says Carlo Ray Jepson. So a couple of caveats, right? Of course. We have to remember again, DPS versus burst duration. So, right, the math that I did is obviously just burst duration. So Noelle deals her damage in like 15 seconds versus Itto's is 11 seconds. And then when you include hit lag, that increases by a couple of seconds, but the same amount of seconds for each character. So that stays the same. So that's still a caveat that you have to think about, but I don't know. These two characters seem almost the same. 4-second faster rotation makes a difference. I'm okay with it. Yeah, so yeah, right? Everyone will have their own opinions on that. So I'm just here to tell you the difference and show you guys the difference between these two. And this is what I'm coming up with. This is what I'm seeing. They're super similar. They're super similar. The amount of investment is almost the same because they're both talents. They're both level 10, so they're both crowned. Noelle does have the added benefit of increasing her elemental burst duration to 25 seconds. Itto is completely restricted to only 11 seconds as well. Noelle has a 60 cost burst versus Itto's 70 cost burst. So there you go. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Does Noelle's burst pause on swap? No, she keeps her infusion even if you swap. So that's a really good thing for Noelle, right? That's a really good thing for her. So that's a good question, Serial. You bring up another good question. Goro's buff is 10 seconds. Yeah, let's bring up Goro, right? So on his E skill, the duration is 10 seconds and the cooldown is 10 seconds. And then his burst is 9 seconds with 20-second cooldown. So yeah, you kind of have to swap Goro in every 10 seconds in order to get his full buffs. And his this last 9 seconds, it synergizes pretty well with Itto's duration because it's 11 seconds. But the good thing about Noelle's is that you still retain your Geo Infusion after you're switching out. So you can swap back into Goro to reset whatever you need to, and then go back into Noelle. That's totally a thing. Also, again, like totally matchup dependent, right? Because Noelle extends her burst duration as long as she's killing enemies. So with the 15-second duration, right? If you aren't killing any enemies, maybe it's not worth it to switch back into Goro and then back into Noelle because you're gonna waste like 2 or 3 seconds. So you only have 2 seconds left on Noelle's burst after switching back to Goro. So I guess you don't have the full Goro. You don't have the full Goro buff with Noelle there, like for the final couple of hits. That's another thing to think about, right? Because these charts definitely assumes 100% uptime on Goro. When you actually think about it with Noelle, you don't actually have full uptime. And for Itto, you pretty much do have full uptime. So great thing to point out. Great thing to point out. You're definitely gonna lose a couple of seconds with Noelle if you're switching into Goro to reset skills.